The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I meet.
Hey, everybody. It is the F word. You've got Kathy here and my trusty sidekick, Jimmy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
You know what? I'm frozen. How's that for an F word? Frozen, freaking buried with flurries. This has been the weather from you know where. Somebody jokingly said that I told everybody, it's like, I haven't really been on a date all year. And they said that's why it's so cold. Hell froze over. Because I just kind of gave up. And we are buried. I mean, seriously, we've had, I want to say, at least 20 inches of snow in the last week. How are you guys doing over there?
We only got about 4 inches. We're leaving by the morning.
Gosh.
Like I said, it's going to get 30s, and it's going to melt it off with the rain.
Yeah, well, so we had that weather, though, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And that was when we had, I'm not used to these headsets. That's when we had 50 below zero. And it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then by Saturday it was 40 above. So it was a 90-degree swing. And then everything melted. And then Super Bowl Sunday, by the way, congratulations again on your team. Super Bowl Sunday, it froze again. And then that Monday sucked because it was all ice. And then this past weekend, it's all snow. It's just stupid. Stupid. That's what I'm calling it. In fact, I just saw an article that one of my friends posted that says Minnesota ranks number 1 in the worst winters. What do you think? I think we earned it.
Yeah, I would say you did.
Okay, let's see.
If it was minus 50 here, all my pipes would.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, there we go. We've got my good friend Jeff on. Hold on, I'm going to plug in, and I want to introduce you, Jimmy. Hold on, I'm going to take this off. Jeff, hold on one second. We are on the air. There we are. Jimmy, can you hear Jeff?
Have him talk.
Hear him? Okay, I took my headset off. Good? Jeff, are you there?
I'm here. I can hear you, but not anyone else.
Jimmy, can you say something again?
I can hear him, yep.
Okay, he can hear you. He's in the studio on the East Coast. But
okay.
Jeff Thompson, this is Jimmy. He's our producer. He's the one that makes all the magic happen. They've only got like 4 inches of snow. I was talking about how horrible it's been here, and I saw an article that Minnesota ranks number 1 in having the worst winters. Go figure. Who knew, right?
Yeah, that's a surprise.
So, a lot of people ask why we live here, and talk about the many reasons why. So, Jeff Thompson, for those of you that don't know, Jeff Thompson and I have known each other, how many years? It's been a while.
For a while, yeah, just a few years.
Over 10, I know that. But, yeah, so we go way back. But, okay, so Jeff is like the master marketing guru in financial services, and we're going to get to that. We're going to talk about the power of one. We're going to talk about the power of Jeff first, though. So, so why do we live here? Let's seriously. So Jimmy's over in Boston. First of all, let's talk about why Boston is so great. Boston's so great, Jimmy.
What makes it great? It's one of the oldest cities in the U.S.
One of the oldest cities. Okay.
We home of a title town with the Red Sox and Patriots and the Bruins. And,
Oh yeah, Patriots.
Oh yeah, go.
Okay.
Got a little more history than Minnesota, I guess. Yeah.
Special with Urban.
Okay. Okay. Got you on that. Or I should say you have us on that.
North End, and it's Italian food.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I like the North End in Boston. That's which is loaded with Italian food restaurants.
Okay, so you know what? The food, the seafood, crab, cakes. Okay.
Yeah, lobster, yeah. Oysters.
All right, Jeff. So, Jimmy, you were born and raised there, right?
Born and raised 12 miles out of Boston.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Jeff Thompson, where were you born and raised?
I was born in Duluth, raised in Minneapolis, so never really escaped the state. Actually, went from colder and worse winter
Right.
to Minneapolis, which is slightly milder, right? Not a whole lot, but a little bit.
You know what, though? Seriously, Duluth is so stinking cold. Jimmy, Duluth, Minnesota is on Lake Superior, if that tells you anything. When they talk about lake effect,
Right.
no.
Right.
It's like that's like even stupider cold. And
Yeah.
it's
Is it fresh or salt water?
I couldn't hear you, Jimmy. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Is it fresh
Yeah, I am too.
or salt water?
Fresh water. But Duluth, like the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. That's a
Right.
song. Who sang that? Jeff, you should know that from town.
Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot. There we go.
Wow, that was quick.
I know, right? So, I mean, I know I've got a lot of reasons for living here, but so, Jeff, you were raised in Minneapolis. So tell me why we live here. I mean, seriously, this winter, I think so many of us are questioning it.
Oh yeah, actually, having been in Miami last week for
Mhm.
about 4 days, coming back to this was sort of a bit of insanity. Thinking, this Miami area is cool. This
Right.
might be the next location. But no, I haven't left mainly because of family, friends. It's hard. It's kind of hard to escape that gravity of lifelong friends, family that live nearby, to just transplant in a brand new city. No matter how cool it is and how much better the weather is, lower the taxes are. Minnesota ranked, I think, the worst state in the U.S. for taxes. Clearly one of the worst for weather. Just in the summer.
You know what? I didn't think we're one of the worst for taxes too.
Yeah, I didn't know that. We were actually number one, I think, in the report that I was reading a month or so ago. Like, well, I knew it was creeping up there. It actually now topped even California and New York, which was shocking to me. So, my dismay.
No, that is shocking to me. So that's like another freaking. Oh wait, what? Why?
Right?
So,
Yeah.
so we pay more to freeze our, what's up.
Right? It's like, not only are you with the weather, but now you're going to pay the price of taxes too.
Well,
So-
our roads are crap. Our roads are crap. And we're paying all that. It's because our weather. I mean, seriously, rain, snow. road construction.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where they're spending the money. It doesn't seem like they put it in the roads, that's for sure.
Wait, didn't we have a surplus? Our last governor, we had a surplus. Yeah, they weren't putting it.
They're saving it for a rainy day, apparently, when someday they'll do the roads. Or not.
They're always doing the roads. That's the thing. It's just a continual, never going to be finished ever anywhere. It's always road construction.
It's never better, though. That's the thing. And, like, what were they doing? It never seemed to have improved after they finish a section, but yeah.
You know what I remember about driving in Boston? All the roundabouts.
Yeah.
That's something new. We started getting those. But years ago, I noticed it in Boston when I was driving there. I wanted to go to the harbor, and one of the guys said, I said, how do I get to the harbor? And he said, well, we're in here at a roundabout. And I'm looking for a building. And I was just like, I didn't know what a roundabout was.
Yeah, well,
learned.
They're all over Europe, so I think they make a lot of sense. Get rid of traffic lights. Seems to work great.
You know
what?
I
think so too. I like them.
Until you have the idiots that don't know how to do it, and then you get irritated.
All right. I ran into one of those tonight, not literally, but...
Good. Well, tonight would have been a night to run into them. It's like everywhere. Right. Gosh.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So, family, friends, great F words there that keep you where you're at. I
love the taxes they have to pay. Like, you know, that's a strong motivating factor to stay here. The taxes at number one, higher than everyone else.
At least we're number one in the worst winters, the worst taxes, and never winning a Super Bowl. That's
there you go.
You know, we can honestly say that our team has never won a Super Bowl, and I think the Bills are worse than us at that. I think they've been there one more time than us. Not sure. I'd have to ask one of my football guys. I don't look up the trivia stuff. I don't. Yes. But, okay, so let's talk about it, though. So, here's what I'm going to say.
World champion base team, though.
We have, yes, 2-time world champions. Great
stadium. There you go.
Our stadiums kick ass. That's why
true.
We pay a lot of taxes to go watch our teams not make it. So that's good.
Baseball stadium's amazing. That's for sure.
God, Target Field. You know what? I didn't even go to Target Field last year. Did you go to any games?
I didn't go to any games, but I went to go see Journey and Def Leppard. So that was a fun deal at an outdoor stadium.
When you went to see Journey, was it Steve Perry? No, he's not with them anymore, is he?
No, it's like a guy they found on YouTube in the Philippines who was doing like covers of Journey songs and sounded so much like Steve Perry. It sounds like a voiceover basically that Steve Perry's doing over this little Filipino kid's body, but it's actually coming out of that game.
Well, yeah, because I didn't think he was with them, so I didn't know that they were touring. So that's cool. But
they sounded great, and I think they did a Netflix documentary on the guy. He's pretty amazing, actually. It's not Steve Perry.
I wonder what he's doing. Is he even singing anymore?
I don't think so.
I think we need to find that out and have him come on the show and sing. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe he would. You never know.
Maybe people will say, we guess that it's Jose Pineda. Remember that guy? He sounds a lot like Jose Pineda. He's been out of the picture for a while. But,
I wonder if he even sings anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he does. He's not with a different band or anything, so.
Okay, so Target Field. I mean, we got to get you to come to Minneapolis because we do have some good things too. We've got Paisley Park, Prince's Studio. Jeff actually went there with me to go see Morris Day in the Time.
That was fun.
Wasn't that was, that was the last show at Paisley before Prince died.
Before Prince died, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know we were talking about going to see the next Prince show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, when is it? It was like a month or so out. And I'm like, okay, well, let's make sure I'm on that list. And wow. That's still wow. It's still freaky.
It's 3 years coming up. They're having a big celebration. Yeah. They're doing something at the Armory in Minneapolis.
Oh, cool.
Now,
That's a really neat venue, too.
Speaking of Prince, okay, get this. So I had a meeting today at a studio. I'm going to name it A440 Studios in New Hope, Minnesota. So if anybody's ever looking to go record some music, record a video, have an event, you got to go out there. You got to get a hold of my friend Steve Kahn. But the studio, I walked in, and I mean, just walking in, I mean, the Art Deco stuff that was on the walls when you go up the stairs was cool enough. But as soon as I walked in the door, I felt a vibe. And you're going to know what I mean, because you're going to remember what it was like inside Paisley Park, okay? So the vibe was, and I'll show you a picture tomorrow, there was a purple hue, which is cool, but to my left, when I came up the stairs, there was a grand piano up on a riser. I mean, beautiful, beautiful grand piano. And up high on the wall was a watercolor painting. Like, this is so, I mean, it just immediately made me feel cool, you know? Just like,
do they still do any events at Paisley Park, or what happened to that place?
So no, Paisley Park still does events. I had been set up to do an event there before he died, but the event was set up in September, so they canceled it because it was after he died. They still do events there. I found out that they just recently started allowing alcohol, because the tough part was they wanted to keep it as much like Prince wanted it for a while.
Yeah.
And,
which was no booze, I recall, yeah.
No booze, no meat. And so I remember, like, trying to set something up. It's like, okay, so we're going to do an event. We're going to have music. There's not going to be any booze. That was never a problem before, but that's when he was alive. Hors d'oeuvres without meat. I mean, when he was there, remember he served grits, cheesy grits, pancakes, salads.
I don't think I knew that there was no meat, but I guess I'm not a huge meat eater, so I wouldn't have been on my radar. I would have been like, oh, well, those are fine. You know,
right.
I don't think I knew that.
Well,
vegetarian?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I think somebody told me he was pescatarian. I might be wrong.
Oh,
nobody's
that means fish, right?
Fish, yeah.
Okay.
Somebody told me that, but I might be wrong. I might be remembering incorrectly. So they will still do events there. You can utilize the big sound stage area that we were in. Otherwise, there's also the smaller studio or stage off to the right there. But now, mostly what they're doing is they're doing tours because of the museum.
Yeah. But,
okay, so that's one thing about Minnesota. I mean, it's just cool because Prince made it cool. And one of the things that one of Prince's quotes was, "I will never leave Minnesota because it's so cold, it keeps all the bad people out."
There's probably a certain amount of truth to that.
Right? Yeah, I like that. I'll never leave because it's so cold, it keeps all the bad people out. So
There's a certain amount of truth to that, just because, you know, if your thing is being a criminal and a pretty uncomfortable, unpleasant place to be most of the time,
right?
You'd rather do your thing in Miami rather than here, right?
Exactly, because it's warmer, and if you're going to be, you know, on the run, you might want to be running in tennis shoes rather than snowmobile boots.
Right. Big moon boots and a... Although the ski mask is kind of a,
Well, the ski mask...
normal feature here. You get right into the crowd, though.
Yeah, you could probably run right into the middle of the lake with all the ice fishermen and fit right in and blend. They wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to run real fast. You'd probably slip on the ice. That would be the only way. That's what I do. Okay, so Minneapolis rocks. So our music scene is pretty lively. You've been involved with a certain band that was really popular, the Suburbs.
Mm-hmm, yeah. They're back in force. Lots of concerts last year.
Are they playing anywhere now, or did they head south for the winter? Did they blaze on us?
I think they played some famous club out in California, probably in Los Angeles. I don't remember.
Okay, they're fair weather, man. That's what they are.
Yeah, they might be. I haven't seen much of them on the schedule over winter, so
don't blame them.
It's probably a pain in the behind to haul all that equipment around and weather like we've had.
So
the snow and
here's what I like about Minnesota, though. The Four Seasons, not the band, Jimmy, but or is it Four Tops? Is there a the Four Seasons? The music group?
I think there is.
Okay.
There is.
But the Four Seasons.
Before my time a little bit, but
mine too. But I mean, winter. I've never been a winter girl. I'm going to admit the snow is pretty. I was telling myself as I drove in this morning, it's like, you know what? Instead of hating it, I'm just going to embrace it from inside. Except for when I have to go out, I'm not going to go out and play in it. No, stupid. But so, it
was beautiful though.
It really is. I mean, the trees are all covered, but springtime comes and we are like the biggest idiots out there. It's like, oh my God, it's 40. I'm opening up all my windows. I'm airing out my house. I'm putting the top down on the car. You see people in their bikes, on their motorcycles. I mean, seriously, 40 seems to be a magic number in the springtime. Like all of a sudden, you see people either with shorts on or winter coats and shorts even. And then, I mean, summertime.
I did the top down on my convertible with the heat, blasting. We're at 40 degrees. So.
Yes, I think we all have. I'll open up the moonroof or sunroof, whatever they call it now. Roll the windows down. Selfie, say, look.
Top down, driving around the lake.
Right, and the lake is, or driving on the lake. Because you still can, because it's still frozen. So that's, do you ice fish?
No.
I don't either.
No.
And I kind of want to.
I think the ice fish houses today are so elaborate that you can get a pretty fancy, like one of those tiny houses.
Yeah. Right? They are.
With a hole in the bottom, and it's pretty weird.
It's
Put your little tiny house out on the lake.
No, so my friend Lenny is in town from Florida. So I was just looking at some pictures. He was out ice fishing last night, and I mean they're catching humongous fish. I don't even catch them that big in the summertime. So I want, and they were in a Vikings fish house or ice house or fish house, whatever.
Ice house. I don't know. Yeah.
But I mean, they're in there.
It's the original tiny houses.
Yes. And they're completely warm. I mean, they're not. I mean, they're drinking. They're having fun. I mean, they have a TV in there. I mean, they have everything. Yeah, it is. It's a tiny house. I would be afraid. I suppose with as cold as it's been now.
No, the ice is pretty thick. You wouldn't have to worry about going through now. But
have you gone to the ice castles?
Not this year, but I haven't. This year probably would be a good year to go.
I think so. I think it'd be nice now with all the snow. It'd be prettier. So it's literally right by my house. I was going to go, and then it was, Well, I'll let you know when I get to work. I've got some coupons so you can get like $2 off.
Right.
But the things that we do in Minnesota, I mean, so there's ice fishing, there's snowmobiling. I've never been on a snowmobile.
Well, there's skiing, sledding. I'm probably going sledding on Sunday. So
Really? Why? I haven't done it since my kids were little. I don't think I'd be able to get up.
Well, today it's a little more high tech. You just go to Buck Hill or Welch Village, ride the little conveyor belt up with your big inner tube, and go shooting down the hill. So.
Oh my God! Because remember when we were little? I mean, you go running back up the hill.
Yeah, no, this is the lazy sledders approach. you just ride a conveyor belt up right up top of the hill, and you're just worried about going down. And it's a lot, kind of like the I guess the closest I can equate it to is like the luge during the Olympics. It's not quite that intense, but you're going really fast down like a channel that the tube stays in.
You don't get hurt, do you? You don't like tip over or anything, do you? It's pretty safe.
No, I haven't seen anybody fall off the tube or get hurt or anything, but I suppose it probably
because I haven't been there. Yeah, I wait. You're waiting for me.
Seems like a pretty remote issue.
Yeah.
But you're moving. I would guess you must be going 30, 40 miles an hour down that hill. So
oh my God. It would be like I'd have.
Oh yeah. It's fun.
That sounds like, you know what, I don't even, how sad is it? I live in the state with the worst winters, and I don't have appropriate clothes to go do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that's a dilemma, but there's actually plenty of places where you can go find it. So
yeah,
there's an REI just down the road. So
I don't even know. I don't own snow pants, and they even said, I was reading something about the ice castles, that they said that you should wear snow pants because there's an ice sled or a slide that you go down.
They have an ice bar in there too.
Oh no, I don't think they do.
Not family friendly, I guess.
Not my family.
Right,
not anybody I know.
We're only going if there's an ice bar.
Well, we'll just head down to my friends then on the lake. Oh, we're naming your place the Ice Bar. We're coming on over. That'd be nice. So that's winter. That's what we can do here in winter. And we have spring. Everybody's running around like they're fools. And then summer. That is what I live for. I honestly do. And I love fall. Fall's beautiful, except for I dread winter coming. But the summers, I mean, we're out on the lakes. I mean, biking, we have I think that's one of the things we're number one at, too, is our bike trail system.
Well, I think they say Minnesotans are, like, insanely compared to other cities. And that's probably because we're all pent up inside half the winter, and if the weather gets even remotely good, everyone is like...
We're out there. Right.
They're out there immediately and insanely active the rest of the summer and fall.
Yeah, because, we have all the lakes. Everybody's out jogging, running, biking, walking their dogs. Water skiing, fishing.
Canoeing. Yeah.
What else do we do?
Even at Lake Harriet, you can rent canoes and all the inner city lakes. Obviously, they've got all these activities right on the lake. They'll have sailboat pools out there, sailboat races. There's a ton to do right in the city, which is pretty unusual. I mean, normally I don't think most cities around
don't
It's a little
think
bit it's a little bit like a Central Park, except they're lakes.
Right. Well, and seriously, and I know I mentioned it already, but the music scene is so good here. There's so many places. We've got, museums, plays. I mean, good culture, man. We might stay here. We might, be in the coldest, worst state, but wait. When it's like that, though, what do we have downtown? The Skyway. Oh, the Human Habit Trail. But
if you're not from here, that's probably a little bit too much to navigate.
No, I got lost there my first time. When I went to downtown, I got lost the first time I ever went through it. It scared me to death.
Right.
I was too scared to walk outside because it was like 14 below zero. So I was like, I'm just staying in. I had a ways to go. But so now we agree that as much as it sucks, they got awesome here. When you really think about it, I mean, I stayed because this is where I was born. I was born in Minneapolis. Lived in St. Louis Park, one of the suburbs, till 7th grade. Moved to Excelsior. And my friends I've had my whole life. Like, my friend Tracy I've known since I was 1. My friend Sandy since I was 3. People that I still have in my life, not lives, I'm not that yet. My next life.
I thought you might have been like referring to parallel universes or something like that.
But I mean, and then I got married and I lived here and raised my kids here. And of course now they're all, like, my oldest moved to New York, my parents moved to Kentucky and Wisconsin. So here I am still. Now I'm an empty nester, so
Miami, here you come.
I don't know. You know what? I heard San Diego's pretty nice, though.
Yeah, San Diego's beautiful too. I think Miami gets a little nasty in the summer. They all say it's you don't want to go outside.
So they're kind of like opposite Minnesota.
They are, yeah. Which makes sense that snowbirds exist. They escape the winter here, go hang out in Miami or the Keys or wherever in the winter. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it starts to get really disgustingly humid down there, they're back up here and are landing
where it gets humid too. So
it does get humid too, but it's
not as
probably
bad.
A magnitude less humidity here.
Not as
oppressive. Down there.
I will never, or I can tell you that I never complain about it being too hot. I just don't. I will never do it because I hate being cold that much. Here's what's crazy though. The cold weather isn't bothering me as bad as it used to. I think it's because you'll never experience this. Getting hot flashes. Hashtag female.
At least you have a solution. My solution was to dress like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with moon boots and face mask and giant. Have you ever seen the movie? I think it was from the '80s, Spies Like Us, with Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
They had big poofy Russian hats. Well, so I've got that going. Earmuffs. No way winter is going to get me.
No way. Well, speaking of...
But when I was younger, I would wear none of that, and of course it was miserable.
Well, so like when my kids were younger, I mean, moms have a habit of just completely layering our kids. Where they're going to, like the movie The Christmas Story, how Ralphie, the kids can't even move because they're so bundled up. But when we had that cold snap, my son Austin works downtown. He works for preschool. He takes the bus, and he has to walk 15 minutes from the bus stop to his work downtown. I'm freaking out. I'm going, oh my God, Austin, you have to cover your face. Oh my God. I was like literally wanting to drive over there and make sure my kid, who's 24, was dressed properly, because I knew he wouldn't be. He's probably just wearing pants no snow pants, no boots. But he's like,
I wonder what happens if your face actually froze from your frostbite. Is it like Botox after that? You can't move your face?
I
No facial.
wonder. Oh my God, so...
You have to have your face removed and replaced with like leather?
Oh my God, you probably do because it turns black. It's like burnt. Gross.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'd be
I
like...
wonder what they do.
That's like be like cell rejuvenation. Like all the wrinkles are gone. There was, oh my God, I saw this woman on TV and I was talking to Griff. I'm not going to say who I said this about, but I'm like, oh my God, face doesn't even move. I go,
It was the frostbite.
no, so it was on TV. I'm like, look at it, her face doesn't even move. We're both watching something. We're talking on the phone. And he's like, well, that's how they all are out here. And I go, well, no, she looks worse. Like it's not even Botox, it's in blood. And he's like, you're stupid. It's like, I go, it's like totally not moving. It's weird. Like she's dead. It's like, but yeah, people get so much stuff done. Ugh.
It's a weird cultural phenomenon, but it was predicted by the movie Brazil from the creators of Monty Python. One of the guys, I can't remember. Have you ever seen Brazil?
No. Sounds like something I want to watch.
You definitely want to watch it. It's bizarre. It's a dystopia, but it's by one or two of the guys from Monty Python back in the day.
I love those guys.
Yeah, so it's funny and just weird, but it was very predictive of cultural events that we see today.
It sounds like it might be even more
extreme plastic surgery and things like that.
It sounds like it might be really interesting with some alcohol involved or something.
Yeah,
Sounds like it'd be entertaining that way, where you'd probably laugh.
Yeah. No, it's very weird, but then again, that's what the world has become, right?
Completely.
If this movie had seen the future, which it sure looks like, from in the 80s, it kind of almost predicted what the world would look like today.
Did they? I wonder when they started doing plastic surgery. Stay tuned for that, folks. Okay, you know what? So, I want to talk about Hour 1, Jeff, because this is something that's so exciting. Jeff, just tell everybody what it's been like for you lately, what you've been doing, what's been actually impacting lives and making differences in our industry.
Wow, lately, gosh, so many things going on at the same time here. What's that?
I know.
Yeah. So, big project, I guess, the first big thing that really started back in October is the launch of the Solely solution, which is a proprietary, cutting-edge, sort of industry-disrupting technology that was not developed by me, but
enhanced.
I was approached. Yeah, I helped the marketing together and coaching and training and how to get it out to market. But it developed it. I tried to bring it to market through a couple of other groups unsuccessfully, and brought it even to some other groups that just didn't see the possibilities with it. And I did right away. I thought, okay, we got something really good here. And so that's been going on since late October, and we've quoted probably over $1 billion of life insurance deficit.
Wow.
And we're just getting started. So, and the big value proposition for a client is that reduce their life insurance costs essentially by as much as 70% versus just a standard common commonly available product in the market. So,
so explain that a little bit. So let's say Jimmy here has got life insurance, $2 million worth of coverage. Why would, and he just got it like 2 years ago, and he's in super good health, jumps off tall buildings. But why would he want to look at this? How would you approach that?
well, really, the big thing for most people is when you're buying something that's off the shelf, which is what 99.999% of all licensed insurance agents are going to offer you. Those solutions, anybody can provide those. There's usually a little difference in price from one to the next. So they're usually very close. From one to the next, the cheapest one is maybe $2 less a year than the next highest priced one. So they're often clustered really close together pricing wise.
Okay.
And so for this opportunity, we're able to go in and say, we have that $2 million policy, and they're paying whatever dollar amount it is. Let's just say $20,000 a year. I don't know what number it would be, but let's just say $20,000 a year for as long as we own the policy. We're able to come in and for a comfortable amount of annual premium costs, so that same $20,000 approximately, we're able to eliminate payments after the 10th year usually. So
Really?
15 years of premium.
How does that happen?
Well, that's the proprietary part. So the guy that developed all this.
Secrets. Okay.
Yeah, he was sort of the guy that developed this. His name is Brian, and he was sort of I would call him sort of the equivalent of a mad scientist in the insurance industry. He was obsessed with figuring out arbitrage opportunities. Without getting too technical into that terminology. Really an insurance genius, I think. That's actually how I met him at Advanced Life Insurance Conference. He was one of the presenters, and struck me right away that this guy was a notch above everybody else that was presenting there. His mind was really, really quite remarkable, and his thinking was really outside the box. And I obviously reached out to him and developed a friendship with him over the last couple of years, and that's why we were given an opportunity to see if we could do something with his program. We were one of the first. I mean, like I said, he had given one other group a shot at it, and they just flopped miserably with it. We're on the verge of having over, like I said, over $1 billion forwarded cases in the midst of placed, saving clients, massive amounts of on their existing coverage and even on new coverage that they're looking at. So it's giving the consumer an option that hadn't existed before. So in my opinion, it's a lot like how Uber disrupted the taxi business.
Right.
This is going to be something really long term, really change the way things are done in the life insurance business.
So you know what Uber also did? I just thought of this. Back in the day where they always said, don't ever go to a party and tell them, you're in insurance. Everybody's going to turn around and walk away from you, right? Now,
you're like the vampire in the room.
Yes. Well, kind of like Uber made, kind of put taxis out of it, but it made it cool, right? This is going to make insurance cool.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Because
it's like
most people need. Most people need more of it if they have it and are underinsured, and this is a way to do it for so much less than what's previously been possible because of technology, essentially, and innovation. Very disruptive. It's a very disruptive approach to the business. So yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting. which is weird to say about life insurance.
Well, exactly.
I love life insurance because I'm a life insurance dude, like
yeah.
like Brian, probably not at his level by any means, but right? Yeah. But I'm fascinated by it. I think it's a really powerful tool for people in their financial planning.
Oh, it's a complete necessity. People don't realize it. It's not just about the death benefits. It's about living.
That's where it's most people are really just sadly this is true of a lot of financial advisory, but just really poorly informed about what it can do and how it can be a virtual Swiss Army knife of financial tool for their financial life.
Yeah.
And probably one of the best opportunities for tax mitigation or reduction or elimination or in a variety of different ways. So that's producing an income stream that's tax-free or transferring wealth from one generation to another without income taxes. It's truly one of the greatest. Actually, Ed Slott, who's a fairly well-known guy, you see him on PBS. He's a big advocate of life insurance in your financial planning, but it's starting to help bring some awareness to it. But it really, it's just kind of the secret of the wealthy. I mean, that's who's really still buying it, who has mainly bought it. But you don't have to be wealthy to take advantage of its tremendous tax benefits. So,
no, exactly. And I think there's so many different uses for it, but with what you've got set up, I think anybody out there got life insurance and you want to see if you can maximize what you got. I mean, I definitely urge you to contact us. So get a hold of me. I can definitely get you in touch with Jeff or one of our advisors that does this. But definitely out and let's get you taken care of. Now, there's also, Jeff, one of the things I wanted you to talk about was the power of one. What is that? I mean, you did this. Tell them about how it grew. So many people are watching this, getting a lot of feedback. But what's that about?
Well, so it's actually the power of zero, which is
I'm sorry. See, listen to me. I'm thinking about me. That's why. Sorry, the power of zero. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. So this is kind of a strange concept, but it's referring to actually quite a few things that are characteristic of a new type of life insurance in the last 20 years that still most of the general public has never heard of. In fact, I would say even a majority or a large number of financial advisors aren't very well informed about either. Called Indexed Universal Life. Mm-hmm. And the power of zero is really a big picture idea that says we've all sort of been duped by the conventional wisdom that says taxes are going to be lower for us in retirement than they are today. If you look at historical charts of where the marginal tax rates have been since the income tax came into existence back in 1913. So a little over 105 years now that's been around, going on 106. Well, tax rates were way higher at the top marginal brackets in the past. And we're in kind of this historically low trough in terms of marginal tax rates.
Okay.
And there's a convergence of some not so good trends, which is, baby boomers retiring, so they're going to be depleting their assets and relying on things like Social Security for income, and a smaller generation behind them fund those things to fund the government. Now, obviously, there's the next generation, which is the millennials that are actually quite large, that are actually bigger than the baby boomer.
Are they really? I don't think I realized that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a huge population bubble again, but there's a lull right behind the baby boomers, which is problematic, I think. So, in any case, we know that the government has just
right,
who are dying off, but who are also probably burdening the system of Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security at levels that it really was never intended for. You know, if you look at the original Social Security system, it was really designed to pay out benefits after you were actuarially supposed to have been dead. So
right.
it wasn't really much of a benefit. You were supposed to already be dead, but you managed to be alive for some reason. So they're going to pay you an old age benefit. Well, today it's turned into a retirement benefit that pays for years. Now, back in the day when life expectancies were much shorter, you happen to be the lottery winner that lived past, you know, your actuarial life expectancy. Maybe you might live a few more years. The government would have to foot that bill for a little bit. Today it's potentially 20 more years, and people are relying on that as a significant portion of their income. So there's issues with that as well. Where is the tax money going to come from? Well, right now there's about, the national debt somewhere around $20 trillion, the official national debt.
Wow.
There's about $20-some trillion in 401k plans right now too. And that's a pretty scary number, because when the government says, hey, you know, we don't know the way to pay our bills, but there's all this money in these tax deferred accounts that we created years ago, that would, if we could just figure out how to get more of that, we could shore up our national debt here pretty easily. So at some point, and we're hearing it even now, you know, after this most recent election, the politicians are already talking about figuring out how to, and there are proposals out there from some of the politicians that have been recently elected to Congress that want to have 90% top marginal tax rates. Rates that we haven't seen since the income tax came into existence, you know, back in the day.
Right.
Way back. And so the big idea with Power of Zero is that, like I said, we've all sort of been duped, and that we're kind of headed into, it's like this tax freight train headed into the future that likely going to be much higher tax rates when you retire than when you were working, since then in this historically low window of lower taxes, and we're heading into a period where, you know, debt is escalating, it's not being fixed, there's no political willpower to, you know, reverse course. So at some point something's going to give, and what's going to give is the tax rates are going to go up dramatically to keep the government solvent. And that means your money is a juicy target for them to go after. So Power of Zero says, look, because this horrible disaster is looming, right now is a really good time to start looking at your situation and how much of your money is subject to taxation, and try to get it out of harm's way so that you're not that giant train wreck that's going to happen and have devastating effects on people's income in retirement. And so it's all about really how to structure your affairs using a variety of different methods and vehicles to get you to a zero tax bracket. And zero being very important because even if tax rates are currently at, you know, let's just say you get the lower tax rate in retirement because you're making less income. But then those rates go up dramatically. Those marginal rates go up dramatically. Even if you were only paying the lowest tax bracket, because it's not a zero and subject to going up, they can always move what income is subject to, you know, what marginal rate. The importance of the zero is you'll escape any changes to the tax brackets. It won't affect you because you'll have an income stream that's not subject to taxes at all from the various sources. So the guy that created this, again, McKnight, he wrote a book of the same title called The Power of Zero. We're actually going to be doing a workshop for advisors all around the country here coming up in March, and training them on how to help their clients achieve this zero tax bracket and position themselves for the best possible future, regardless of what happens to tax rates down the road. So
So
That's a long story, I know.
that's no, but you know what? That's so necessary. People don't know this, Jeff. It's so vital that we get the word out as much as possible. So, for example, I know we only have a couple minutes, but if you're a client, if you're, I mean, you know, you're not an advisor, but this is something that concerns you. I mean, where do they want to reach out? Who do they want to get a hold of? Yeah, maybe get the book even, or is the book for advisors?
Well, the book is actually for consumers.
Okay.
A lot of advisors probably need to read it too, because it's pretty common that most financial advisors out there are really mainly just trying to manage your money for rate of return.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are not really taking into account the massive impact that taxation has on you. And they already know that for most people, the taxes make up more than most of your other costs of living, like mortgage, your food, your transportation. Combined, that's already what you pay on a regular basis. Well, and unfortunately, most financial advisors, when they're helping you plan for retirement or helping you do income planning for retirement, are largely kind of ignoring that tax issue. So they're just trying to come up with a number, but they're not. And they're thinking, well, you might have a lower tax rate, and here's what that tax rate's going to be, and they're assuming that's a constant. They're trying to plan for inflation, sort of.
All right. Things, I got to cut you off, Jeff. I'm sorry. We have 10 seconds left. Contact us. Okay. Contact me at Hall of Fame Financial, everybody. You know how to get hold of it. You need to get this information from Jeff. Jeff, thank you for joining us tonight on the F Word. As always, it's a pleasure talking to you. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.